Okay, we are live now. You guys, we saw an incredible fight over the weekend. Ilia Topuria knocked out Max Holloway. A lot of people didn't think that that was going to happen. And in my post-fight recap, I made it very clear that I think Ilia Topuria has a great chance at dominating the featherweight division for years to come. But my guest here, the regular casual, disagrees with me. He thinks that Mosvar Evloev is going to be the guy to dethrone and dominate Ilia Topuria. Is he out of his mind? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. But I decided to have him on the show today for a lively debate. Go. How on earth could you possibly think Evloev is going to beat Ilia Topuria after what we saw this past weekend?
All right. First of all, thank you for inviting me. And no, I agree with this sentiment that he has the ability to dominate featherweight, but featherweight is changing a lot. If we see now new contenders coming up, and Ilia knocked out two people who were really good at what they did, but they have very similar weaknesses, and that is that they didn't have the perfect defense. And to face a power puncher like Ilia, you really need to have the perfect defense. Like you cannot have even one shot landing on your chin. Being said that, I think Movsar or even Diego Lopez give huge issue to Ilia. If you watch Ilia's fight, he gets tagged, he gets bloodied. He as good as his power he has, I don't think he has the best defense. Even in Max's fight, he was getting tagged big time. And Max did not even attempted wrestling even once. Alex Volk did, but Volk was not as successful. But Movsar, now coming to my guy Movsar. Movsar has elite level wrestling and grappling. I mean, elite. He's just in case people don't know, his own elder brother is a silver medalist in Olympic in freestyle wrestling. So he comes from that background. And by the way, he's not from Dagestan. He's from a region which is nearby Dagestan. He has one of the most elite wrestling and anti-jiu-jitsu kind of grappling, which people from that region usually have. Some of his takedowns are some of the most unique takedowns I have seen. Even Islam Makhachev does not have that takedown. Anyways, you were saying something, or do you want to continue?
Keep going, and then I'm gonna ask you more questions.
Okay. So I feel that he has good chin. He has never been dropped. Ilia has been dropped, in case you, in a few times actually in his career. Once in UFC too. He has been tagged few times as well. Ilia, Evloev, Movsar, he has not been knocked down. Not that he has faced people with power like Ilia. I think Diego Lopez did tag him, and Diego Lopez has similar kind of power. But the fact that Movsar survived that and survived on the ground as well, and then his last fight with Brandon Allen, that is the one which impressed me a lot. Like, this guy can hang with somebody who has knockout power and who has really good jiu-jitsu as well. So
yeah, I mean, here's the counter argument to that. Like, a lot of people thought that Arnold Allen won that fight at UFC 297. I don't agree. I thought Evloev won the decision, right? But a lot of people thought that Allen did enough damage to get the decision.
No. The reason people said that is because of the grounded strike opponent that Evloev was getting hit in need by Brandon while one of his hand was on the ground. So that's the rule. That's the rule. So people said, "Oh, if it was not the rule, then Arnold could have finished." Well, yes, there are a lot of what ifs out there. If that rule goes away, then the fighters will start training differently. Their strategy would be different. Mm-hmm. But the rule was in place, so whatever. But if you look at the entirety of the fight, even like I can pull up the figure, like Evloev has far more significant strike, far more damage. One of the most significant stuff, Arnold Allen, I've seen him wobble only in two fights. One was Max Holloway fight, and another was Evloev fight. I have not seen him wobble in any other fight. So that means Evloev has really good power as well. Um, so I personally I feel that nobody has given Ilia the kind of fight in which he has a fear of being taken down or fear of having power returned to him. Alex and Max are not KO kings. Like they are really good volume punching and defense and mixing things up. Max, especially Max, is not Max a volume puncher. He's not like a power cliche.
And that's what I thought Max was going to be able to do, right? Like I thought his chin was going to hold up and that his volume would win the day, right? But that didn't end up happening. But so another kind of first of all, Evloev is supposed to fight Aljamain Sterling coming up, and then whoever wins that's probably next in line for the title. Volk's maybe going to get a rematch, but what's his name? Ilia said he wants to do that fight in Spain, not in Australia. So Diego Lopez has put out there that he would fight Volk for an interim championship, maybe in Australia if that's what they wanted to do. But either way, so kind of the three people that in my opinion there are questions in the division, and really it's two. Aljamain Sterling, if he beats Evloev, which I don't know about that, then there's going to be Diego Lopez, and there's Evloev. Like those are kind of the three guys left that there's question marks at featherweight.
I mean, Aljamain Sterling recently said that he has the best style to neutralize Ilia because he will not trade with him at all. He would try to make it a grappling match. But the thing is, Ilia himself is a brown or black belt, so it's not like he's a walk in the park if you get him in the ground. As simple as that. So if you don't have, Aljamain does have elite grappling skills, no doubt. But Aljamain does not have the ground and pound like Ilia or the one punch KO power. So I don't give a lot of chance to Aljamain. I give most chance to Movsar and then to Diego Lopez. Apart from that, I mean, I'm looking at the featherweight roster. I mean, I don't think is there anybody else apart from these two. Again, I think Volk still have a lot of chances because Volk does have wrestling. Unlike Max, so I still give Volk a chance. But again, Volk has been KO'd twice in a row, and he is above 35.
Yeah,
those stats don't stack up really good if you look at the history of MMA fighters. That once you cross 35, especially from featherweight, lightweight above, you slow down, your reaction time is slowed down, and once your chin is cracked up, once by a crazy head kick, another by KO, then it's never again same unless you have taken time to completely heal yourself, done some juices, and come back after 2 years or something.
Yeah, I mean, like I think that in that first round in their first fight, Volk clearly won, right? But once again, like Ilia was just kind of patiently waiting for his moment, and then he got it, right? And then to me, like the asterisk, but beside that win is the fact that he got head kick KO'd by Islam, 4 months prior, right? And so right now there's kind of that debate going on: who's the fighter of the year? Is it Ilia or is it Alex Pereira? And to me, the answer is clearly Alex Pereira, just because of the 3 fights in 6 months period and the 3 pay-per-views that he basically saved, and the 3 guys he defeated, all of whom he defeated on short notice.
Yeah, Alex does have far better resume if fighter of the year goes, but I will also mix in there Islam Makhachev. He has a fight of the year actually.
But he only fought once.
No, he fought twice, if I'm not wrong. Let me check. He fought. When did he fight Volk? In February, right?
No. He beat Volk back in October of 2023.
Oh, you're right.
Poirier at the beginning of June 2024.
Yeah, you're right, because they were not giving him
He
the
wanted
fight.
one before. He wanted one before Ramadan, but they didn't give that to
They
him.
didn't give him because they wanted to do something else with who they wanted to. Yeah, because Justin said no. Justin went and fought Max, and that's the reason his fight got delayed, basically.
Yeah.
And then they blame him for not not taking more regular fight. The thing is that the behind the scenes are so different than what regular fans assume, and that's the reason I want to be the guy who helped regular fan understand what behind the scene looks like.
Yeah. So okay, I've got another question for you, and it kind of makes it makes me laugh a little bit, but at the same time, his confidence is so infectious that I almost believe him. So what he said, Ilia Topuria, what he said in the post-fight press conference is that when he goes up to 155 pounds to take on Islam Makhachev, not only is he going to win, but he's going to submit Islam Makhachev. What are his chances of actually making that happen? What do you think?
He has more chances of, if he wins, more chances of KOing Islam than subbing him. I don't think people still understand how elite of the elite Islam is, in terms of his grappling and almost like an anti-jiu-jitsu grappling, his own jiu-jitsu. In his own career, he has defeated / submitted almost 4 black belts, like legit black belt, including Charles Oliveira, right?
Yeah.
They actually on Ariel Hawani's podcast, he asked the same question to Volk. Volk said, "Yeah, no, he's not submitting Islam. He's the same thing. He has a chance of KOing because he's one of those guys with a KO power. And the thing is that there can always be a lucky punch. There is no lucky submission. For submission, you have to work, you have to be good. And if somebody is even decently good in jiu-jitsu, he can counter your attacks. And if they are as good as Islam Makhachev, then you're not getting submission easily at all.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah. I mean, to me, like the KO thing, I could kind of believe it, especially because to me, like, and if you look at Islam's career versus kind of Khabib's career, right? Islam has looked more human against his opponents in the sense because he's so comfortable on the feet, right? Whereas Khabib was like, he didn't want to be there, so he'd just go for the takedown right away. But so if that's the case, right, I think Ilia has a good chance if it stays on the feet. But yeah, I don't see any scenario where he submits Islam Makhachev.
Yeah, the people don't realize the kind of training partners these guys have. So one of the I'm trying to recall the name. One of the jiu-jitsu coaches who is in AKA is the guy who was a world champion 6 times, and then he brought another guy who was world champion 4 times, and that guy and his 2 weight class above Islam, and he said that he's probably one of the best jiu-jitsu artists he ever rolled with, who has never competed in jiu-jitsu.
Wow.
And they counteract. So look, people, Ilia and Arman are same height. People don't know. Like, they're both 5'7". If you look at it, I also imagine Ilia versus Arman fight. How would that go? Ilia has a great chance to be one of the best featherweights. I don't think he can hang with lightweights unless lightweights have crazy weak chins, like Charles Oliveira or Chandler or somebody. Yeah. But if he goes against Dustin Poiriers of the world, then and I think one of the reason I think Max lost and nobody's talking about it is because Max is now old enough that his weight cut, he's tall guy, he's taller than Islam, I think.
Yeah.
And he's weight cutting to 145. And when you do weight cut, the first thing which kind of get impacted is your chin.
Yeah.
So he was 155. In 155, he not only had better chin, but he has a really good KO power, the way he KO'd Justin Gaethje.
Yeah.
I think he should consider permanently switching to lightweight. He's tall, lanky, and I don't think weight cutting is doing him any favor anymore in featherweight.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think now with the updated rankings or whatever, I think he's ranked number 5 in the lightweight division.
Yeah, we should have been the case from the get-go, because that way he could have just said, you know what, instead of Ilia, I want to fight Islam, and that would have been a crazy matchup as well.
Yeah, that would have been a great match, and I think that Max. I mean, he said he was fine, and he said he was good, and all those other type of things, but. Compared to other times, he did look his worst in terms of that weight cut. I mean, again, you don't know, right? You don't know if it's true or if he felt his best. Like, you don't know, right? But just from optics, he didn't look he
looked so old as within 3-month period. Like in Justin Gaethje's fight, he was looking fresh. His face was clean. He looked so fresh. In featherweight weight cut, he's looking like a very old man. So this is because his body is telling that, you know what, you're not a young man to just cut 30 or 25 pounds and just be good with it, basically, right?
Yeah.
He probably walk around 180, 175, 80 easy. And then he's cutting. And it was the same case with Conor. Like, I don't consider Conor as greatest featherweight, one of the reason being, and he has KO power because he used to look like an Auschwitz victim, like a skeleton and bones, because he had a good enough figure to be in lightweight, but he chose to featherweight because it gave him advantage with his KO power. And then he used to regain the weight within 24 or 36 hours of like rehydration period.
Yeah.
And
I think that's a good point. And the other thing I think that is, like KO power at featherweight is not the same as KO power at lightweight, right? Like that 10 pounds makes a huge difference in terms of your stopping power, right? Like, I mean, Ilia might be knocking out people at 145, but would that same power translate up a weight class? I don't know, right?
No,
I don't think Conor knocked out anybody except for Cowboy.
Eddie, he won the title with a knockout. Eddie Alvarez.
Okay, no, you're right.
No, Ilia knocked out. He has a one lightweight fight in UFC against the British guy Jay Habert.
Okay.
So he knocked out. It was the same knockout as Volk. He knocked him out, but before that knocked out, he got knocked down by one of the kicks, and he was wobbled. But the guy was his opponent was not that elite, and he didn't take advantage of Ilia. If it was Islam, if he's knocking you down, he's going on the grappling. He's not standing up to stand and bang again.
Yeah.
But he stood up again. He did a head kick, same head kick Islam did to Volk. So this guy did it to Ilia, and Ilia was flat down, wobbled, couldn't stand up for a few seconds. Yeah. And then then he didn't capitalize on that. Then Ilia recovered in the next round and came. And basically, what Ilia does, if you see most of his knockdown, is that he pushes and pushes to your cage, because as a short guy, you have only limited range. So you don't want to give any space for your opponent to move back. So if your opponent is close to the cage, then you have the best shot to basically KO without them moving their head or anything, right?
Well, and one of the points that I made about Ilia, and so first of all, one thing I noticed is that like not only does he have tons of power, but his precision is on another level, right? Like, so in that sequence where he goes to knock out Max, right, he cuts an angle and then clips him from the side, like right on that spot that that causes the knockout. And if you ever watch a documentary on like how a knockout is done, you highlight all these points, and he was hitting Max in those repeatedly in the first couple of rounds. It's just Max has that granite chin, but eventually it it folded, right?
Before that punch, he actually did a straight right, if you see, and that wobbled Max. And after that, the cobweb came, and Max was not the same. Like, and Ilia knew there's a blood in the water attack.
Yeah. So
anyways,
he's very good.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what do you guys think, viewers? Do you think he's out of his mind with the fact that Evloev could be the guy to defeat Ilia Topuria at featherweight, or is he onto something? I really do think that Evloev does have a lot of great skills. I just don't know if he's the guy to beat Ilia.
By the way, I also I forgot to mention, one of the guy who endorsed Movsar was Islam Makhachev himself. In one of the interview, he said that I think Movsar have all the tools to beat Ilia. And these guys don't just endorse anybody in that sense, just because they know him. They are not even the teammate. They are from different region. They don't train in the same gym or something. But he endorsed him knowing the skills he has. And so that was one thing which kind of, for me, was like, okay, if Islam Makhachev is saying, then there's some things there. You can trust that statement coming from a pro.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, that's it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time, and we'll have him back on for the next controversial opinion. All right, take care.